Buongiorno, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. Your resident dark despondos at your service. Welcome to the dark dimension of Despondos' philosophy. Yeah. Well, let's see here. I was doing a little bit of research and just, looking for things on YouTube and on the internet and videos and stuff like that. I watch a lot of Penn and Teller's bullshit series, and gives me a lot of insight into things that I've already been thinking about, things that it's concepts that I have in my head, concepts that I don't have a name for, but then when I hear an authority who's analyze it and has something to offer, then they put a name with it, so I can use that concept with the name that the general public is more aware of, instead of making up my own, because I often come up with these concepts and then I think of a different name for it because I don't know what the general term is. I can't think of any examples right now of exact names of something I came up with, but I do have a concept that I was aware of. I didn't think I really had a name for it, I just would say it, and that is card stacking. I watched an old circa 1950s propaganda analysis of propaganda, and what propaganda is, what it does, how to look for it, how to find the different types of propaganda. You have plain folks, you have name calling, and you have card stacking. And the card stacking one was the one that I was, immediately intrigued by. And I think I've heard of card stacking before. I think I studied it when I was in my government's class in high school. I've heard it around, I just didn't know, I never heard it explained or never took the time to find out what it meant exactly, in recent memory. But card stacking is essentially the whole foundation of my assessment of what religion is all about, and belief in things. When people want to, they have a stance on something, but then when challenged, they do this underhanded technique. Sometimes they're not even aware of it, but I don't think they're actively trying to not do it either. It's hard to tell. But that's why I'm always a critical thinker, because I don't want to be that fool, But card stacking is when people take the facts they want, leave other facts out to make what they are showing, or what they're trying to illustrate as being what they're only telling you what facts they want to tell you. They're true, and actually this does go along with one of the other videos I talked about. Well, actually, it's not on this channel. I probably should put it on this channel instead, to keep all my philosophy things grouped together and stuff. An example of card stacking is when somebody declares, hospitals kill 50,000 people a year. Okay? Well, that could, I don't know what the actual figure is, but whatever figure it is, that's what they said. But then they leave out, how many people do they save? It's like, okay, one part of it that's bad does not make the entire thing bad. That's an undesired angle, but people who want to believe the worst about hospitals, those are the facts that they hang on to. And that's called card stacking. So they take the cards they want and they shuffle those to the top and leave the other facts below, So that is card stacking, and I will use that word frequently from now on. And I was watching an episode about, it was the season 4 of Penn and Teller. So Penn and Teller's bullshit. And it was about numbers. And it went along with my whole assessment of how and it's a type of card stacking. You basically what's interesting about it is that numbers, while concrete, they're representative of things that we count, things that we understand, But when we get into using numbers in a mathematical frame of mind, most people don't assess it objectively. And salesmen, and whatever type of salesman you are, if you're a political, trying to sell a political idea or sell an issue, or an agenda, you will use facts and figures to basically make things look better than they are, or make things look worse than they are, by using information, using math. You sound smart, and then people don't know how they feel about a certain number, or they think they know they think they know how they feel about it, but then ultimately, if they really analyze the entire arena, asked all the questions, asked and analyzed, then it may not even be what they want. But see, salesmen use that and they prey upon that. And you can get two different answers on the same issue in the way that you compile it. There's one guy who's like a statistician or something for, I guess even probably for Washington, and he was asking a gentleman on the street, if he thinks that, the government is spending way too much money on low-income families. And he goes, yeah, I think we're spending too much money. He says, well, would you deny a child of a low-income family hospitalization? He goes, no. He said, would you deny a low-income family of schooling? He goes, no. He goes, and then the guy asks him, he says, but you just said you thought we were spending way too much money on low-income families in the government. And he goes, yeah, I think we're spending too much money. So it's like, okay, all he was doing was writing his emotions on individual issues, but then he never looked at the big picture. When he looked at the big picture, his perception is skewed. And that's what a lot of numbers can do. $1, when we consider $1, that's easy for us to, we kind of assign things individually. We look at things from our own individualistic perspective. We can get our mind around 1, we can get our mind around 2. But then when you go to 1 million, 2 million, Well, you're looking at it from your own point of view as 1 million and 2 million and think that's way too much money, when in fact it probably only works out to a few pennies per person overall, where it may not even be a whole lot of money at all in the grand scheme of things. But because we think of $1 million, and even though we are considering in thinking to ourselves, okay, this is for the rest of the country, but yet we're still thinking of it in terms of our own individualistic perspective. So numbers don't mean a whole. The perspective of numbers changes with our own perception and emotions. And, it's a very human thing, and it's very, people are very fickle. People really don't look at everything as a general idea, general sense. So, but yeah, it's very interesting how even things that are concrete, and how truth plus perspective equals facts, I think. I don't know. That's what the difference between facts and truths are. Truth is the correct information with 100% objectivity to be considered. And facts are the truth, but they may not be true if your perspective, it may not be the truth if the perspective is wrong. So it's interesting. I had an enjoyable time considering all that. Hope you did too. Talk to you later.